Friends, welcome back. You are joining with me for Ancillary Physics 3 and we are watching Electricity and Electronics. And today's lecture we are going to see what is potentiometer and the application of potentiometer. Specifically, we will see how a potentiometer can be used to calibrate an low range ammeter. That is what we are going to discuss today. Let's move on. So, potentiometer. It is the topic that we are going to discuss today. Potentiometer is nothing but it is a variable resistor. If we change the value of the resistor, right? If you have a provision to change the value of the resistor, then you would be able to change the potential drop across that resistor. This is the kind of setup that we can use to say potentiometer. For example, you see what is resistor? So resistor has the symbol like this. This is the resistor. If you put variable resistance as like this. So resistance has no polarity, so there is no positive negative. You can say AB points, and this is variable resistor, which you can say that potentiometer. And how to achieve this variable resistance? This you could achieve simply by taking a cylindrical base and winding some kind of wire which having a significant resistance per unit length. Assume that this has the resistance rho per unit length. In that case, right, if you are applying positive in this side and negative in this side, right, so if there is much resistance, then if you measure the potential difference by putting the voltmeter between this, then you would observe more potential difference, as between the two extreme ends it has maximum resistance. And if you are sliding towards the positive end, or if you are sliding towards the negative end, the potential drop across any two point between A and B will decrease, right? Why? Because if you decrease the length of the wire, then the resistance will decrease. So in that way, you can vary the observing voltage by varying the resistance, right? So actually, a potentiometer is a device which will look like this. That is, there will be a wooden base. There will be a wooden base. In this in this wire will be arranged in such a way that it will have a appearance like this, right? A wire is taken and it is folded into 10 1 meters, right? So there is a connector here, it is denoted by A. There is another connector here, it will be denoted by B, right? So in general, the commonly used potentiometer in the laboratory of physics lab will look like this. There is a board, wooden board basically, and a wire will be arranged in such a way that it will go like a zigzag manner, and the length of this point to this point will be 1 meter, and the total number of wires will be 10, so that a potentiometer consisting of 10 meter length wire. Okay, but generally we used to denote a potentiometer as simply a straight line of, right, and this we denote as 10 meter, right? Generally potentiometer as 10 meter length. And what is the use of the potentiometer? If you are given with potentiometer, if any electrical signal could be able to converted into feed between this potentiometer, we can able to measure the potential difference across any two poles. That is one application. Other application, whenever you require to change the flowing potential across any circuit, that you can change using the potentiometer. For example, one ready-made application that we can point out is this volume button. Have you noticed volume button, right? If you noticed volume button, if you rotate that volume button in a clockwise direction, the volume will increase. If you do it in opposite direction, the volume will decrease. What happens actually inside that volume button? Inside that volume button, nothing but this circular wires are wounded, and there is a marker. That marker will moving over that wire, right? It will moving from the negative side to positive side. So if it is more positive, then the volume will be more. If it is more negative, then the volume will be low. That is the idea. Essentially, it is nothing but a variable resistance. It is none other than potentiometer. In that way, you could encounter many applications of potentiometer in electronic circuitry in a micro level to the macro level. Fine. And now you see, let us consider one such potentiometer, and that potentiometer is connected with an EMF, a battery E, and a key K, and that is connected over here. Now, right, you could able to measure, say for example, if this is one cell whose value is 1.05 volt, okay, then you could, if you take a voltmeter and if you make a measurement between these 2 points, it is nothing but the potential difference between these 2 points, so that it will give you 1.05 volt. Fine. Now suppose if I take another battery and I am connecting in same way where these positives are connected, that is positives are connected to point A, and another point which is connected to a galvanometer and a high resistance, then it is connected to a jockey, sliding jockey, high resistance, and this is galvanometer. Okay, if we consider such setup, suppose if this one is 1.02 volt, then these two batteries are not equal. As these two batteries are not equal, and if you are taking this sliding key and if you are moving from left side to right side, somewhere between this, right, from starting from this point, there is some value will be shown in the galvanometer, and if you sliding from left to right, it will move, right? The galvanometer will move and it will reach the 0 point somewhere between A to B. So that point, you can say that point, you may say that this is that point, right? So if we take the entire length as L, right, that is equal to 10 meter, and this length you can write it as L. So this point you can denote C. Okay, so this is L, and the remaining part you can say that capital L minus small l. Okay, so this is the balancing length for a given given battery and the given resistance attached to that. Okay, fine. Now with this case, and we can define rho. We can define rho is the resistance of the wire per unit length. Resistance of the wire per unit length, that is the resistance of potentiometer wire per unit length. Keeping this in mind, now, so we already said, let AB, that is the entire length from this point to this point, as capital L, while the balancing point, that is between A to C, that we can take it as small l, so that A to C, which is equal to small l. Now we can write the potential difference between the point A to B, so that potential difference between AB, you can say that you can write, what is potential difference? Potential difference is V, that we can write V is equal to product of voltage into, V is equal to product of current into resistance at constant temperature according to Ohm's law, right? So that here potential difference, what we can write, we need to write an expression for current and an expression for resistance, right? Okay, so that we can write, let's take the current flowing through this wire as through this through this wire is I. Okay, current flow is I. In that sense, now what is R? We know the length and we know the resistance resistance of the wire per unit length. Now we can write this side is I, and what is R? For the entire length, R is nothing but resistance per unit length multiplied by total length. So that I multiplied by rho into capital L. Rho into capital L. Fine. And next, what is the potential difference between the point A to C? Okay. So that potential difference between AC. How to write that? It's nothing but this time we have to multiply capital L with small l. Okay, suppose if you take, so let's say this is V1 and this is V2. You can write this as 1, this as 2. Suppose if you want to calculate 1 by 2, then what you will get? V1 by V2, which is equal to I rho L by I rho small l. So I rho everything will be cancelled out. What's remaining? If you want this, that is potential difference across the length of balancing point, right? That you can write V2, isn't it? V2, that you can write V2, that is nothing but L by L into V1. That is, you bring this L to here, you bring this L to denominator and the V2 the right hand side of numerator. Okay, so this is the potential difference across the point AC. Okay, it is nothing but the ratio of the length, this length divided by the ratio of the entire length multiplied by potential difference across the entire length. Okay, so in this way you can write what is the potential difference at the balancing point of a given potentiometer for a given resistance and a given battery. Okay, so this you can write, that is, you can make an for a steady current, passing through the potentiometer wire AB, the potential difference across any point. The potential difference across any point is proportional to the length of the wire. Okay, proportional to the length of the wire. For a steady current passing through the potentiometer wire AB, the potential difference across any point is proportional to the length of the wire, right? So here there is a steady current, that is we have applied only DC battery in both the cases, so that there is a steady current passing into it. In this case, right, potential difference the potential difference across any point between this wire AB is nothing but it is proportional to the length of the wire. That is, if the wire length, that is small l, is small, this value of L is small, then the potential difference will be small. If the value is high, then the potential difference will also be high, right? So in that way we can able to calculate what is the potential difference at any point in the potentiometer wire. Okay, now using this setup, let's see how to calibrate and assume that you are given with an analog voltmeter. An analog voltmeter which works with the concept of magnetism and deflection and all, right? It consisting of a coil wound into it, right? If you pass the current into that, the coil create a deflection, right? That deflection will be noted in the needle, and needle has readings in the front end. So this would be a setup of an analog a meter, so that there is no any digital electronic components into it. It is a mechanical device. Such device may have some errors, right? So how to calibrate such device, such an ammeter? So we are a ammeter which is having very low range, very lower values. How to calibrate that? It could be calibrated using the instrument potentiometer. We will see how to calibrate that. It is an experiment that is also you need to done in your laboratory, but here we will see the theory how to proceed that experiment with this. Okay. Calibration of ammeter low range. Calibration of ammeter low range. Actually, it consisting of two steps. Okay, first step, let me draw the diagrams. Let's consider step 1. Let's consider a potentiometer AB, right? Connect a battery and a key. There is a rheostat and this part is connected here. So it is rheostat, it is key, it is battery, right? Now this is battery 1. Now let us connect another battery. It is battery 2 and BT1 not equal to BT2. That you have to remember. Okay, fine. Now connect a high resistance here and let's have a galvanometer here. It's a moving sliding jockey. Okay, fine. Now you see, using this setup we can able to find the balancing length L. This L we can able to calculate. Using this setup, so we can able to calculate for a given battery values what is the balancing length L we can calculate. If you are moving from this point, right, galvanometer will show 0 at some point. That point is L. That we can calculate, right? This step 1 and step 2. The top of the circuit will be same, bottom circuit will be slightly changed. Okay, in the bottom of the circuit we have to make connections like this: a resistance and a battery and a key, rheostat. Okay, we can say jockey. This is galvanometer and here there is a joint here. Here there is an ammeter here. Okay, this is rheostat 1. It is key 1. It is battery 1. It is resistance R. It is battery 2. This is key 2 and this is rheostat 2. This one is ammeter. This one is galvanometer, and the potentiometer of length 10 meter is denoted within AB. Assume that like this, right? Now, so there is a current passing through the resistance R. Okay, with this circuit, if there is a circuit, a current passing through the resistance R, which will be measured as A. Fine. Now in this case, potential difference per centimeter of the wire. That is, what is the potential? Okay, what is the potential difference for an unit length in this wire that we need to calculate, right? See, initially if this is the battery 1 that you can denote as E, if this is the battery 1, then potential difference between the length AB will be, if you take the entire length as L, so in this case we consider the entire length as L, okay. If this is the case, then if the potential difference between these 2 points is E, then the potential difference per centimeter of the wire is, what is that? Total potential difference divided by total length, right? So that will be, the potential difference per unit length or per centimeter will be E divided by L volt. Okay, fine. So this is what we have, we could able to calculate in the beginning. Potential difference per unit length you could able to calculate through what? Very simple arrangement, right? Potential difference between the point AB is known, that is nothing but E, and if your length is given, then you could able to write this equation. It's not a problem at all, and you can able to calculate the balancing length. So this length you can, balancing length you can say L naught, or if required, that also you can able to measure in the first setup. And the second setup, we have removed this second, we have removed this high resistance and galvanometer, other things, and we can rearrange a setup like this, and we will get a resistance, another battery, and rheostat, and ammeter, galvanometer in another setup. Okay. Now what we have to do is, if if you are changing the rheostat value, what will happen? This ammeter value will change. If this ammeter value will change, then the deflection and the galvanometer will also change. Now we can move this jacky in order to create a balancing length, and we can note it down that length. Then if you make a change, again you can make a change in this rheostat, then this ammeter will give another value, right? If you are increasing the resistance, means the ammeter will give you the increasing current, so that the magnetic deflection will be, the galvanometer deflection will be changing, and we can make it to null at every point. Okay, and that is the thing that we are going to do. And what we are going to do is, we are going to measure this balancing length and the current. This is the thing that we are going to do in this setup, and keep it in mind. The rest we will discuss. So here, now we can write the equation for potential difference across R. What is the potential difference across R? Potential difference across R is nothing but, you see, earlier potential difference per centimeter of the wire is nothing but E by L, right? So for 1 centimeter we have calculated the potential difference as E by L. Now for a given R, for a given current, so this potential difference across the R for given current A1, that is, if the current A1, for a particular current A1, we need to calculate. For this particular current A1, now the balancing length will be L1, assume that. Here the new length will be, right? So in that case, what we can write, we know what is the potential difference per centimeter of length. Now we have the balancing length as L1, so we have to make the multiplication. So L by L multiplied by L1, right? This is the potential difference across R. Very simple, right? Then if this is the potential difference, then what is the current through R? Current through R. What is the equation for current? V is equal to IR, so that I is equal to V by R. Okay. So current through R, this is nothing but I. What we have to do? We have to divide the potential difference across R with the value of R, right? So in that case, E L multiplied by L1 divided by R. Okay, so that this becomes E L1 by L into R. Okay, fine. So this is the theoretical equation to calculate the current through the resistance, and already we have measured using ammeter what is A1. Now what is the calibration we make, and what is the error value, or what is the correction we need to make? So correction in the current through R, correction in the current passing through R. What will be? This will be theoretical current, that is EL1 by L into R minus measured current, that is A1. So this is the, what is that? This is the correction that we need to make it for the original experimental ammeter reading. Okay, fine. Now how to do that? That we have told that if you increase the battery value, if you increase the resistance value, it will increase the current and or decrease the current if you change the rheostat, and that will reflect in the deflection of the galvanometer, and you can make it to null if you're moving that. So essentially we are changing the current value, we are taking the balancing length value, making a tabulation, right? Let's make a tabulation which consisting of serial number, then what is the current I initially we set in this ammeter, right? And so that we can, for example, say A1, for that we can write balancing length L, right? Let's put L prime, it will be L1, L2, L3, L4, L5 and so on like that. Then what is the estimated current? You can say that A. Estimated current through that, let's put it's A. Estimated current using theory. Now what is the correction? Correction is nothing but A minus A prime, that is theory minus experiment. Now what is that? In serial number 1 we can set 0.1 ampere. If you set 0.1 ampere in this ammeter, and you have to find what is the balance length here. Let's say this is L1. For that case, some A will be, you can return using the formula, and the difference you can return, right? In that way you can write some 10 readings so that it will become one, this you can write 0.01 ampere to 0.1 ampere in that way. So that you will get L10, right? So you get, there are n different A minus A prime values, right? Now what we have to take? We have to take this value and this value, right? Now you have to make a graph. A1, that is the measured, the ammeter values in the x-axis and the error in the y-axis. So it will give you different curve like this. Okay, so here A minus this is A1, not A prime, A minus A1 in y-axis. So you need to write the scale whenever you draw the graph. In x-axis 1 centimeter equal to how much ampere? In y-axis 1 centimeter is equal to how much ampere? These things you have to write, and you will get a comparison graph. Okay, and from this graph you can able to see for different values of ampere how the error, the difference in error will occur. And also you can draw another curve. What curve? So this curve will show you this error graph. So this value tells you that how much this particular for a particular current, the experimental value, that is the value which one is measured in the ammeter, will deviate from the theory. That will be that will be understood from this graph. Okay, fine. So with this, so this is how we can say that how an and a given ammeter can be calibrated using the potentiometer. But a limitation is this is applicable to the ammeter who is having the lower range. If it is a higher range, then we have to adopt a little bit different methods. And so with this, let me confine today's lecture here. Let me stop here, and we will continue in the next lecture. So until then, be safe. Bye.